Hello everyone and welcome to my Coronation Street official today. Please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The atmosphere on Coronation Street has shifted into something truly chilling as Gary Winters finds himself on a collision course with the manipulative Theo Silverton. We are watching a man whose life has been a literal battlefield of loss, betrayal, and violence finally reach his breaking point. It is absolutely gut-wrenching to see Gary, who has tried so hard to redeem himself over the years, being pulled back into the shadows by someone as toxic as Theo. This isn't just a simple neighborhood feud. It is a violent intersection where Gary's haunted past meets Theo's predatory present. And honestly, the tension is so thick you could cut it with a knife. Viewers are literally on the edge of their seats because the stakes have never felt this high or this personal. Theo has been weaving a web of lies so intricate and so cruel that it threatens to pull down everyone Gary holds dear, specifically targeting people like Todd Grimshaw with a level of brazen malice that is hard to watch. For Gary, this is triggering every survival instinct he's ever had, the memories of his own turbulent upbringing, the pain of his childhood, and the weight of the blood already on his hands are flooding back like a tidal wave. He is drowning in a mix of fear for his family and the burning, white hot anger that we haven't seen in a long time. You can just feel the air getting heavy whenever these two are on screen together. It is no longer a matter of if Gary is going to snap, but when he does, just how deadly is that explosion going to be? Every episode feels like we are watching a ticking time bomb, and the countdown is reaching zero. Theo's arrival in Weatherfield was never going to be quiet, but I don't think any of us expected him to be this disruptive or this deeply cruel. He has escalated his behavior to heights that are frankly terrifying, proving himself to be one of the most formidable and cold-blooded antagonists the Kobolds have seen in years. He's been playing a high-stakes game of chess, manipulating everyone from Todd to Lisa, creating an atmosphere of pure unadulterated fear. I mean, think about Todd for a second. The way Theo has systematically isolated him and made him feel like he's losing his mind is just beyond belief. And then there's Gary. Gary Winters is a man known for a temper that can go from 0 to 60 in a heartbeat. And his protective streak isn't just a character trait, it's an obsession. He has been quietly, almost silently, preparing for a reckoning that the rest of the street doesn't even see coming. While everyone else is going about their business at the Rovers or the corner shop, Gary is in the shadows, sharpening his resolve. Every single interaction between Gary and Theo crackles with these unspoken threats and subtle intimidations. It's like watching two predators circling each other in a cage. Gary's internal struggle is so palpable you can see it in the way he clenches his jaw and the way his eyes go cold. Part of him desperately wants to exact violent justice, to end Theo's reign of terror once and for all, but there is another part of him, the husband and father, that is terrified of the consequences. He knows that if he crosses that line again, there might be no coming back. Fans are stuck asking the big question: is Gary still the man who can find a glimmer of restraint, or has the darkness finally won? Can someone so grounded in his community really give in to the abyss? The drama only gets more intense as Gary begins to peel back the layers of Theo's deception, is discovering the full, horrifying extent of the lies. Theo hasn't just been lying. He's been falsifying entire situations to isolate Todd and keep anyone else from intervening. He's built this fortress of intimidation that seems impenetrable. But Theo made one huge mistake. He underestimated Gary Winters. Gary's history of violence, his brushes with the law, and that incredibly complicated moral compass of his are all looming over this situation like a dark cloud. I can't believe Theo thinks he can out-manipulate a man who has looked death in the face as often as Gary has. Coronation Street has always been amazing at this moral dilemmas, but this storyline is pushing things to a total extreme. It's forcing us as viewers to look at this line between self-defense and cold-blooded murder. Is Gary a protector who is doing what needs to be done, or is he just a man looking for an excuse to let the monster out of the cage? As if things weren't complicated enough, Gary's inner circle is starting to catch on. You can see the worry etched on the faces of Sarah and Alia. Even Todd, as terrified as he is, can sense that Gary is consumed by something dangerous. Their concern adds this whole other layer of anxiety to the plot. I mean, imagine how Sarah feels, seeing that look in her husband's eyes and knowing exactly what he's capable of. Can anyone actually stop him once he's made up his mind? The writers are doing an incredible job weaving Gary's personal demons into the external threat. We are seeing these moments of deep introspection and intimate, quiet confrontations with his loved ones where Gary looks like a man torn in two. He wants to protect them, but he knows that the act of protecting them might be the very thing that loses them forever. It's a psychological minefield. Every scene is dripping with anticipation of what is about to happen next. The showdown is looming, and you can see Theo's arrogance starting to crack just a little bit under Gary's mounting pressure. The streets of Weatherfield have basically become a psychological battleground. The confrontations are getting louder, the threats are getting more direct, and even a casual hello on the street feels like it's loaded with the weight of impending violence. You can practically feel the heat radiating up the screen. Theo still thinks he's invincible, but Gary's simmering rage is right at the boiling point. The stakes are just monumental. One wrong move, one misplaced word, and the whole thing blows up. And it's not just Gary and Theo who will get hurt, it's everyone caught in the crossfire. The show is teasing us with this potential murder twist, and honestly, I'm glued to the screen. Every glance, every gesture is charged with a double meaning that makes my heart race. I just keep thinking, Gary, don't do it. But at the same time, someone has to stop Theo. It's such a brilliant, agonizing bit of storytelling. Genius of this Coronation Street arc lies in its exploration of human vulnerability and the corrosive effects of unchecked cruelty. She embodies pure manipulation, a reminder of the darkness that can exist when someone wields power over others. Gary, conversely, is the embodiment of moral ambiguity, someone who has walked a fine line between justice and vengeance throughout his life. By bringing these two forces into direct conflict, the show presents a suspense-filled narrative that is both emotionally resonant and thrilling. It also invites viewers to examine their own moral compasses. What would you do if someone you loved was in danger? At the hands of someone as toxic as Theo, could you restrain yourself, or would desperation drive you to unthinkable actions? These questions elevate the storyline beyond mere drama, transforming it into a commentary on human nature itself. The storyline also cleverly uses supporting characters to heighten tension and suspense. Todd's fear, Lisa's moral dilemmas, and even Elias' attempts to intervene create a rich web of interpersonal dynamics that makes the eventual confrontation unpredictable. Each character brings a unique perspective, forcing Gary to navigate not only his own emotions, but the potential fallout for everyone around him. The result is a narrative that feels authentic and deeply engaging, where every decision has consequences and every scene contributes to an inevitable climax. Coronation Street's audience, already invested in these characters for decades, finds themselves emotionally tethered to the outcome, rooting for justice but fearful of the cost. Personally, I feel this isn't just about revenge. It's about the cost of carrying darkness inside you. Gary's struggle mirrors a truth we often ignore. Protecting the ones we love can demand sacrifices we aren't ready to face. And the real question lingers: how far would you go to protect someone you care about? And at what price would you cross the line? Ultimately, the Gary vs. Theo showdown promises to be one of Coronation Street's darkest and most gripping storylines yet. By combining elements of suspense, moral tension, and character-driven drama, the narrative keeps viewers on edge while exploring the complex interplay between justice, revenge, and morality. Will Gary cross a line that cannot be undone? Will Theo finally face the consequences of his actions? Or will his manipulation continue to sow chaos? And perhaps most importantly, how will the people of Weatherfield respond when the inevitable collision occurs? The storyline teases a potential murder twist without fully committing, leaving room for shocking revelations and dramatic reversals that could reshape the show's landscape. In the end, Coronation Street reminds viewers that in a world of lies, cruelty, and desperation, the line between hero and villain is often thinner than we imagine, and the consequence of crossing it can be deadly. And yet, even as Gary stands on the precipice of his darkest impulse, there is a quiet tension that whispers of restraint, or perhaps an even more shocking choice waiting just beyond the screen. Watching this unfold, you can't help but wonder, what does justice really mean when the lines between right and wrong are blurred? Theo's arrogance may have made him untouchable in his own mind, but the cracks in his control are widening, and every step he takes now feels like walking on a knife's edge. Will his hubris be his downfall, or is Gary about to make a choice that changes the entire fabric of Weatherfield forever? I want to hear from you guys in the comments. Do you think Gary is actually capable of going through with it this time? Is there any way back for him if he takes Theo out? And what do you think Theo's ultimate goal even is? Let's talk about it down below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for all your daily updates. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.